guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Terry and you're watching the AXO. As you might realize, I am standing up instead of sitting down as usual. That's because today we're going to be building a PC, and not just any PC, but the AXO's very first test bench, which is going to feature a couple of products from Cooler Master, NZXT. We have Antec, Klevv, and also AMD, of course, for the so this is a AMD test bench, and yeah, let's get started. So let's start off with the components that we're going to be building into this test bench. Most importantly is the CPU, and we have here the AMD Ryzen 7 5700G, which has an integrated Radeon graphics, but obviously we're gonna have its own GPU, of course, so that's the CPU. This is the Klevv Cras C720 M.2 NVMe SSD. Really great value. There's no RGB or whatever, but it gets the job done. And also there are a couple of RAM that were passed on to us thanks to SunCycle. Great job, guys, really appreciate it. This is the Klevv Cras XR RGB 16 gigs RAM kit that is effectively 32 gigs, of course, 4-channel. And also they sent over the Antec KATANA. These are also 4 channels, 16 gigs on each, so effectively that's a total of 32 gigs. That runs on a 3600 MHz clock speed. So yeah, and the same goes for the Klevv Cras XR as well. That's also 3600 MHz clock speed. And then for the, we're gonna save the best for last. For the cooler, we have the NZXT Kraken X53 RGB. This is a great kit, of course, obviously with RGB and stuff. This is a dual fan design, 240mm, and can't wait to put this on. And also for the power supply, we have the NZXT C850 PSU. This is a 850 watts PSU with a 80+ gold rating. So the C850 is actually really great because it is silent, its cables are sleeved for further protection, and also it comes with a 10-year warranty on a fully modular PSU. And next, we have the NZXT B7 550 motherboard. This is a AMD B550 chipset motherboard, and this would fit really well with the Ryzen 7 5700G that we had earlier, which is here. So this is going to go on here. But the interesting thing about this test bench is actually the case, which is down there. And let me just grab it real quick. This is the Cooler Master MasterFrame 700 test bench. Pretty cool, right? So the great thing about the MasterFrame 700 is that it is a highly customizable open air frame PC chassis that can convert between a showcase PC case and a test bench. And when it is in the test bench mode, it is highly flexible. There's a lot of ways you can play with it. And even if it's on the showcase PC, there's a lot of ways you can get into a showcase PC. You can mount it on the wall, or just lay it on the table, and there's even a tempered glass on the front to give it that extra touch of elegance. So without further ado, I think I am gonna unbox the MasterFrame 700, and then we're gonna unbox the rest and put it all together for the AXO's first ever test bench. Let's go. So I've just unboxed the MasterFrame 700. It's actually really intricately packaged. Everything is nice and protected. This is the main frame for the MasterFrame 700. They're not playing around, man. Like, this whole thing is just so solid. This is the MasterFrame. This is the wings that will go on the side, and then the PSU bracket on the bottom, and a couple of other parts, the legs. So everything is just steel. Of course, they also had the tempered glass, which is also really nicely packed. Has setup manual laid nicely on, like below the tempered glass as well. So we're gonna get to this in a bit. Let's just set it up and I'll be back in a second. So I finished setting up the MasterFrame 700, and this is it. This is the test bench mode, which has the wings flapped down, and this is the bracket for the GPU, and the washers are all screwed in. The legs are also on the bottom, and the I/O ports are on the bottom or the front here in test bench mode. So upon installing this, I realized that test bench mode and open air mode, a PC showcase mode, is actually a bit different. Some parts, when you want to switch between the two modes, you kind of have to disassemble certain parts and rearrange them in a way. So like the legs here, for test bench mode, it's on the bottom, but if you want to be in the PC showcase mode, these legs have to be on the front here to give it more stability. And yeah, basically in test bench mode, if you turn it to PC showcase mode, it's somewhat like this, and the wings would be turned to the front like this, and the legs will be on the front to give it even more stability. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just look at this chunky boy. Pretty nice, right? Okay, so now we've got the motherboard installed onto the MasterFrame 700, the RAM, CPU, and the Kraken X53 on here from NZXT as well. The cooler is installed on the left wing. Currently, we don't have anything installed on the right. And yeah, I think the next step is just to connect the power supply up to the motherboard and the graphics card, and also the antenna. Okay, so the power supply is installed under the MasterFrame 700 in its frame where it's supposed to be, and the cables are routed up. We have the motherboard connected and the CPU. Next is to line up the fan, and of course we're gonna install this baby, which is a Tough Gaming NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. Now this has 12 gigs of GDDR6X memory, and this is the OC edition, and of course it supports the ASUS Aura Sync RGB. Well, not much, but at least there's RGB. So we're gonna install this, and yeah, be right back. It ran perfectly, and I think that's about it for the entire MasterFrame 700 test bench that we have, which apparently we are now calling Project Regalia. And so what's gonna happen next is this will be the test bench that we're gonna run on in the future, and I think I'm just gonna move this back here where all the benchmarking goes on, and as you can see, I've cleared it up already, so now it's just the monitor, and this will be here. Then I'm gonna share a little bit about the entire building process with the MasterFrame 700, as well as the other parts of the test bench. So yeah, give me a minute. And so we finally have the MasterFrame 700 all up and running with the NZXT parts and the AMD Ryzen 7 5700G. So it's connected up to the monitor. We have a small speaker set up into it, keyboards, mouse connected, and yeah, pretty much that is Project Regalia. Well, you're gonna see more of it in the B-roll, but I just kind of want to talk about the entire installation process with the MasterFrame 700. I thought that the entire case was really premium. It was really well built, solid design, overall frame. Like if you're carrying and handling it, you can feel how sturdy it is, and that really gives a premium experience in this. Even though it's just like a test bench, or even if you use it in a PC showcase mode, which is like this, it feels really nice. But this is just the test bench mode put upright. I should have moved the front panel ports up here, but It's okay, the motherboard itself has a on-off button, so that's fine. Yeah, it really is a flexible, highly customizable open frame PC chassis, which is the MasterFrame 700. It even has like this small emblem here that's supposed to be magnetic, and it keeps all your screws. So I keep extra screws here, and it's like it just magnetically attaches itself to the side of the frame. The right wing here, currently it's empty. Probably will, I don't know, in the future maybe review some coolers. We have an ROG 360 AIO cooler that we're gonna review next. So probably we'll just put it on here and leave the Kraken X53 where it is right now. Then the RTX 3080 Ti, that's also a review that's coming up. Yeah, basically that is the Cooler Master MasterFrame 700 with the AMD Ryzen 7 5700G, NZXT Kraken X53 C850 PSU, and the Klevv RAM, as well as the SSD. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll do a video on the PC showcase mode for the MasterFrame 700, where we'll get to move some certain parts of the case to make it a proper PC showcase case, and to finally use that tempered glass that is meant for the 700. So yeah, the setup for the NZXT parts were really easy as well. The C850, all of their parts had really clear instructions on what needs to be installed and what goes where. So I had no difficulty whatsoever in getting the power supply unit installed, as well as the Kraken X53. They were all pretty straightforward, and like just plug the cables in and you're done. I think that's also how I managed to get the PC running in the first try, because previously, you know, sometimes you'd not be able to boot on the first try, but surprisingly when I pressed the power button, all the RGB just came on, and I'm like yeah. So, and that's it for Project Regalia. Thank you guys so much for watching from start to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Moving forward, you're gonna expect more reviews on like motherboards, GPUs, SSDs even, and coolers, you know, all sorts of things, anything PC components. Don't forget to give us a like if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Terry. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all the next time.